Let's bring in Dr. Joe Congini, our good friend from Akron Children's Hospital Sports Medicine Center. Good morning, Dr. Joe. What do you have for us today?
Hey, good morning, Ray. I heard you talking just a little bit leading into this segment, and, gosh, that took me by surprise. Oh, my gosh, there hasn't been an Ohio State-Michigan game in the Horseshoe since 2018, huh? And because 2020 didn't happen, and 22 now, and so it's been a little while. That caught me by surprise, but many things are coming back, and yesterday was our annual fundraiser that we do for the OSU-Michigan game in our office. It is organized by one of my partners. He's such a great man. Works over with the teams at St. V. He's a pediatric orthopedist, Dr. Mark Adamczyk, and his wife, Becky. And they had our whole team gets together and brings a potluck and a big lunch. And we had a great luncheon yesterday, about 60 people, and raised funds for the Akron Food Bank. And I know upwards of $1,000 for the food bank, and it was great. Poor Mark, he's a Michigan guy. He's outnumbered at this thing by about 10-1, but he's such a good guy. Everybody loves him. And the thing about the get-together yesterday, all the talk, instead of really being a lot about the teams and what's going to go on the football field, all the talk really was about sports medicine again with the injury to Blake Corum. I happened to get to see that injury, obviously several times over again, but even live I saw that. And Blake Corum, I've gotten to see him play a little bit, a lot like the special back that we have at Hoban at the high school level, Lamar Sperling. Blake Corum is just a real special back. So Ohio State has several really great backs, highly regarded backs. But Blake Corum is a special difference maker of a back. And unfortunately in that play, for everybody wanting to have the healthiest teams ready for Saturday, there's a huge question mark about whether this really good young man, he's up there in the top 3 or 4 for the Heisman, Ray, as you well know. Mm-hmm. Blake Corum will he be able to play at all, or will he be limited some? And by watching it, when I first saw it, I really thought, doing a lot of sideline medicine, I really thought that this looked more like his foot was off the ground and like a deep contusion, maybe a thigh bruise or a bruise down around the shin from getting hit with a helmet or shoulder pad. But as I saw it again, his foot is on the ground and planted a little bit, and he did hyperextend the knee a fair bit. So obviously the big question, and we don't know this, we haven't examined them and seen the MRIs and the studies done now. That day you don't have MRIs and X-rays, so they returned him to the game, and he just couldn't run and cut and had to come out of the game. But if he has a sprained knee, that's the concern, a ligament injury. And we've talked on your show before, the ligament injury that occurs with hyperextension, when these people get hit and hyperextend their knee in football, but in many sports, soccer, basketball, and others, a hyperextension of the knee can also be the ligament behind the ACL, known as the PCL. And people do play fairly early on with a PCL, but playing the week after, if he has that kind of sprain or another sprain, the problem is the swelling in the knee often really limits people being able to cut and move the way they normally do with that swelling in the knee. So there is all kinds of speculation, obviously, on both sides, but we don't know the answer to that. And so we'll be looking on just like everybody else. I know the sports medicine team at Michigan has now a lot more information to go on. I'm sure they did some studies this week. But it comes back to sports medicine very frequently, and we'll keep an eye on whether Blake Corum is ready to go or not. And in the meantime, I wanted to say on this Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for people that we have in our community, like the Adamczyks, who give to the Akron Food Bank, and so many people this time of year helping other people. But I also wanted to say, Ray, I wanted to take a minute just to say thanks for the friendship that you've given me. It's been so good to me through the years, and it's such a great friendship. I treasure it very much, and I'm thankful for and grateful for things like that. So I'm grateful for the friendship we have. Have a great Thanksgiving with your family. And I just wanted to tell you thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Joe. And I still go back in time when we were at a banquet together, 20 years ago, and my little baby Rocco at that time, and now turns 21, you rocked him back and got him quiet so I could MC that banquet. Remember that?
Yes, thank you for that memory. They think the old grandpa doesn't have it anymore and being able to rock these kids anymore. But I think I still do have that. But I do recall that, and we do go back a long way, and it's really cool to have friendships like that.
You're a good friend of mine, too, and enjoy that growing and wonderful family of yours this holiday season, Joe, and we'll get back together next week, my friend.
Talk to you next week, Ray. Thanks a lot. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You as well. Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center, Akron Children's Hospital, joins us Wednesdays here on the Ray Horner Morning Show.